You're listening to the Smarter Moms Online Podcast, episode number 11. Welcome to the Smarter Moms Online Podcast, where you learn how to increase your revenue and your reputation in your online business. I'm your host, Ashlyn Tengon, and if you're ready to work smarter and not harder, then let's get started. Welcome back to the show, guys. It feels great to be back here with you again this week. And can you believe we're on episode number 11? Like, this is an accomplishment, guys. Thank you for being here with me for 11 full episodes. Seriously, this is an accomplishment. Okay, today we're bringing back Daniela from episode number 5. And she's got a load of information for you from her experience at this past year's PoshFest. You guys, this is gold. Like, she doesn't hold anything back. And in fact, she's sharing what she did to prepare for PoshFest, what she learned, what the itinerary was like, along with a whole bunch of amazing goodness that you're going to be like, whoa. So don't worry about taking any notes because I got you, girl. Everything she talks about is in today's show notes, and that's over at smartermomsonline.com/11. So just sit back and enjoy what she has to say. It is so good. Before we get into today's episode, I want to give a closet shout out to Alexa, who just so happens to be our newest member of the Smarter Moms online community, who left a review on iTunes titled, "Love it, a Posher's Perfect Podcast." And she says, "I only recently started listening to podcasts, and I also became an active Posh seller 2 to 3 months ago. These episodes are awesome. Valuable information, and it's real, honest, and the best resource for my business, but even aside from Poshmark. It is inspiring for any home business or life in general. Thank you for starting your show. I will be looking forward to every episode." Girl, I wish I could give you a 5-star rating for that review. And I love that you pointed out that the information shared on this podcast isn't just for Poshmark. You said it's inspiring for any home business or life in general, because that's what I'm going for, you know? Like, you could apply a nugget from each episode and apply them to your life outside of Poshmark. So thank you so much, Alexa, for leaving that amazing review. And I am so excited to work with you inside the Smarter Moms online community. You are going to crush it, girl. Alexa's Poshmark closet name is Alexa Ray 86, and that is also linked in today's show notes so that you can click there and go directly to her closet. She has some amazing pieces, you guys. So go check her out, and you can even listen to today's episode while browsing through her closet. So easy. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into today's episode with Daniela. Okay, so welcome back to the show, Daniela. It is amazing that you decided to come back and share.
Ashlyn, thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful and very honored. I can't wait to share everything I've learned.
Yes, I'm excited to hear what you have to say because you went to PoshFest 2018 and I didn't. So I want to know all the things.
Okay, so well, I want to bring it back to the conversation that we had prior to PoshFest. And so, for the most part, I will feel as though I'm happy to say that I'm not going to spiral on a repetitive note. And there's definitely a few things that I said in our first episode and that the PoshFest experience has changed for me. So I'm really excited to share that.
Oh, okay. Well, let's dive into that.
Okay, so as I said before, I've been a member with Posh since very early on, 2013, but I didn't really start selling on the platform actively until late 2015. And since then, I've been doing it part-time because I'm also a teacher and I work full-time. And I never really felt as though I was connected to the community. Didn't really partake in the Poshmark Facebook group, didn't really keep up with the blogs or the Poshmark bloggers themselves. And when the opportunity for me to attend PoshFest came around in 2018, I just, I felt like I needed to jump on it from two perspectives. One, I felt like I just needed to get out of the house. And two, I was really hoping that by going and attending, it would take my business to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. So I booked. I actually did not get a chance to buy a ticket on time. I was working and I didn't get a chance to buy a ticket on time as it was on sale on the app.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody told me, hey, why don't you just leave a message on Facebook, one of the Facebook groups, and maybe somebody will reach out to you and transfer one of their tickets just in case they don't want to go, or if they bought it with reselling it in mind. And I did. So I put a message out on Facebook, and I got a message back actually from this lady Victoria, who said, hey, I might be selling my ticket, but really I'm looking to sell two of them because I bought two of them for my boyfriend and myself, and we were hoping to go, but we're not going to be able to go. And so what ended up happening after that is I said, okay, so I really need to find somebody else to go with me. And that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made, because I reached out to this girl, Caitlin, who's also a fellow posher, and said, hey, do you maybe want to purchase this ticket with me? And she said, yes, of course, I really want to go. So we ended up buying the ticket, which was very funny and very weird at the same time. Just because we were both new at this. We didn't know how these PoshFest tickets, what they entailed, what they covered, how the transfer would work out. So eventually we got it, and I booked my flight tickets, and I ended up in Dallas, which was awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. And you posted a
Yeah, and so I'm so
picture.
grateful. I feel like this really happened because of how strong the Poshmark community is, and just you kind of put an idea out there or a request out there, and something eventually happens.
I agree. I love how strong the community is. Everyone is so close with each other, and it doesn't matter whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or on Poshmark itself. Everyone has like this bond where they just want to help each other out. So I totally get it.
No, it's really true. I for the most part I didn't believe it, and for it also has to do with the fact that I wasn't really engaged in it myself, but it became very evident through the buying process and everything else.
Yeah, totally. That's awesome.
Yeah, so okay, so I went to PoshFest. Again, this is my first time. I've been a member with Poshmark for a while, but this was really the first time that I just integrated myself and really put myself out there. So in preparation for attending PoshFest, I attended a few Facebook groups, and we all started talking about what to wear, what to pack. I saw a lot of ads, and just a lot of community reach out where to bunk or share rooms. So that was really fun to sort of witness from an outsider.
Hmm.
Poshmark actually set up a hotel, so the whole Posh Fest of 3 days took place at a I guess you would call it an event space where they do concerts and even weddings and conferences. So it was a pretty big event space in the heart of downtown Dallas. But then 5 minutes and within walking distance, they had this great hotel that they recommended everyone to book. But of course, the early bird gets the worm. And so because I didn't have my ticket right away, I had to get a different hotel because the hotel recommended by Poshmark was already booked. So I did that, but it was really interesting to witness on Facebook how many people were, either driving in or sharing rooms or sharing ideas for different hotels. So that was, I felt like I got to know Dallas just from those interactions and conversations,
Hmm.
which was really funny. I got to learn a little bit of the geography, and eventually I ended up there. But prior to going, I already had a pretty good idea on what to wear, what the itinerary is looking like. Poshmark was really good actually about posting a complete itinerary, not necessarily hour by hour, but a good breakdown of what each day is going to be like on their website and on their blog.
Hmm.
So that was really good. And so I got there. I was able to connect right away with different Poshmark friends that I connected with on Facebook and whom I met for the first time in Dallas. That was by far one of the most exciting things that happened during the whole Posh Fest. So I'm definitely excited to share more about that.
Yeah.
But let me just say that this was the itinerary.
Okay.
The first day when we got in, for the most part, everyone got in around Thursday. We had a beautiful Posh and Sip hosted by some beautiful PFFs, glamorous ladies, and it had the whole red carpet feel. It was really, really nice at a rooftop lounge. Very nice. It was almost like a welcome
Wow, that sounds
Posh and Sip. Yeah,
fancy.
that was awesome. There were a lot of really nice, successful, outgoing PFFs, and then there were people like me who this was their first time. They didn't know what to expect. They were a ball of nerves. They didn't know whether they should say hi to people or not.
Mhm.
So that was Thursday, and then on Friday we got up super super early. We came in. We walked to the event space. You would check in outside, get all of your Posh swag, which included a bag full of goodies.
Mhm.
Remind me to tell you what I got in it.
Okay.
And you get your little badge, which has your name, has your closet name as well. Doesn't have a picture, which is totally fine. And then you pretty much go in and enjoy the day on Friday. Food is included. Then on Friday night there was another Posh and Sip, which was independently hosted by some other amazing PFFs. And then on Saturday, you do the whole thing again. You don't need to check in anymore because you already did. So you already did the pre-registering process on Friday, and so on Saturday we were able to sleep in a little bit more, given the fact that we didn't have to register. Saturday was also amazing. There was no Posh and Sip on Saturday that I attended, even though one was hosted. And then on Sunday, we had this super cool, really nice, relaxing brunch with everyone. And for the most part, everyone either went home, had flights booked that day, or drove home, or perhaps stayed, enjoyed Dallas a little bit more, and stayed afterwards.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of things happening. There's
It was, and for the most part, it definitely felt like a business trip. After every night, I would just lay in my bed, and I was so grateful that I was alone in my room because it gave me that time to just process everything that went on. But we just had such a blast, so much fun. It was a very early wake up call, 5 a.m., but it was just so much fun. I can't wait for next year.
Yeah, that is awesome. Some of our listeners are brand new to Poshmark and they have no idea what PoshFest is or what a Posh and Sip is. Would you be able to share what those are?
Yes. So a PoshFest is pretty much an annual conference held by Poshmark's CEO and the top people that they have working at the company. They also do a really good job at recruiting several panelists. And prior to PoshFest happening, they do open up a forum where if you want to become one of their panelists and be a speaker, a guest speaker, you can submit a video, submit a few reasons why you want to do this, and they pick based on that. And it's just a few days held all over the country. We still don't know where they're holding PoshFest next year, but I'm really excited when it will be announced. And you just go, and it's really a great experience if you're looking to take your Posh business to the next level.
And
Whereas Posh and Sip is a different type of event. A Posh and Sip is a independently hosted party which happens with the initiative of highly motivated, highly Poshmark engaged poshers
mhm,
who don't necessarily have to be super successful, but they really want to do this. And so once you do this and you pick a venue, let's say I want to do it at XYZ cafe, and I put the word out there, I contact Poshmark and say, hey, me and my dear friend Ashlyn, we really want to host a Posh and Sip in our New York metro area. If you ever want to come, I'm totally down to do it. And so you contact Poshmark, and once they work out the details with you, and you could just kind of show them that you're super serious about it. You show them that you have a venue either reserved or booked. Then you work out certain details with them, whether you want to put it on sale, meaning if you want to sell tickets for the event, or if you want to just sort of do it as a volunteer and you kind of do it for free, but you do have to cover some of the costs like drinks and food or perhaps appetizers. And once you put the word out there, then Poshmark does a really wonderful thing, which is to send you this huge box full of Posh swag that includes balloons, raffle prizes, all these types of things that are really going to allow you to personalize the party, but also represent Poshmark. And so and so eventually, the day comes and you host it. You definitely want to market it as much as possible so that you can get a lot of people that will attend your Posh and Sip. And from my understanding, if you host 5 of them, then by the 5th one or by the 6th one, I don't know if I remember that correctly, but it's definitely 5th or 6th. If you've had them all in a row, then you can go, do the whole process again as you're gearing up to host your next one, and Poshmark will send someone from the company to co-host with you or appear as a guest.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's definitely something we learned at PoshFest, and it was incredible.
Oh, that is really neat. So for these Posh and Sips, since Poshmark is sending swag, does there have to be a minimum number of people in order for them to send the swag, or does that not matter?
No, it really doesn't matter. I mean, they definitely want to have a clear idea as to how many people you are expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in general, they try to send you all of that stuff with a decent time in advance. And so, some people might come last minute, some people might not be able to make it last minute. So I don't know how much of a number you can guarantee or how accurate your number will be. But in general, I think you do want to guarantee about 20 people.
Got it. Okay. Just to give those who are new to Posh and Sips an idea of what to really expect if they ever wanted to host one of their own. Neat. Okay, so tell us what you learned at PoshFest. That was like the big annual event that we all want to know about.
Okay, so oh my God, I learned so much. So let me just walk you through it.
Okay.
First of all, I have to say I've learned so much, and I'm not gonna lie, most of what I learned was just from interacting with other people and from the nighttime events that were hosted on both Thursday and Friday. And I'll tell you why. Because it was, Thursday was really just a welcome reception. It was great. But everybody was so excited. It was the first time they didn't have their little notebooks on and they didn't have their game face on. And so that, that allowed for such a free flowing conversation to happen. And people were just everyone from experienced poshers, people like Amanda, who works for the company. They were just, they were having fun. They were having a few drinks and they were just volunteering all of this information and really putting themselves out there and opening themselves up and not keeping anything close to the vest. Come Friday morning, of course, everybody had their game face on. And so you can feel the atmosphere shifting a little bit. And I know for a fact, just from myself and hearing other people around me, things did feel a little more closed off. But then come again Friday night, everybody else was super open at the second Posh and Sip, super friendly, talking about everything that they liked during the day one of PoshFest, what they didn't like. And so you end up learning more from that sort of testimonial and just going over what happened during the day than you actually end up learning while you're just sitting there taking notes, because you're just so eager to absorb it all.
Oh, that's really neat. You kind of get everybody else's feedback on what their oh, I just had the words slip my mind, what their perception of it, of what they learned at PoshFest was. That's really cool.
Yeah, and it was, listen, it was really neat. The setup, I'll walk you through the setup. When we walked on Friday, again, you're pre-registered, you walk into this amazing, gigantic event space, and it has all these halls and corridors and rooms. And you walk in, and Poshmark did such an amazing job decorating. It was definitely Instagram worthy, with all these photo booths and photo opportunities and props for you to, really put yourself out there and just share the experience with the world. Mm-hmm. And, so again, you walk through this event space, you take your photos, you get settled in, and you see this beautiful, gorgeous map that right now, because it's super early in the morning, everybody's walking in, it's empty. But everybody had a little sticker, and, they just pretty much wrote their name, wrote their closet name, and would pin it on the state from which they're from. Mm-hmm. So when you walk in, the map is completely empty, but towards the end, by Saturday evening, the map was completely full. So that was just beyond amazing to witness that, to see that, to be able to take a picture with your state, the state you represent, but also be able to now go in and pinpoint, hey, this posture is from New York. Oh, this posture is from Arkansas, and jot down their names and perhaps reach out to them at a later date. That was amazing. So that was learning contribution number one. Then you go in and you have your itinerary and you're sitting down. You open up your Posh swag bag, and they gave us this really cool Poshmark notebook with all kind of cute motivational sayings. And it pretty much started. So we would have panelists that would come in and talk based on different topics. And then after that, we would have different success stories shared with different postures who volunteered the information and pretty much went through that whole process that I mentioned earlier, where you send a video of yourself, why you want to do this, why you want to attend PoshFest, and why you want to speak to others at PoshFest. Uh-huh. And then somewhere down the middle, they would break for lunch. Food was really good, provided by Poshmark. So you didn't have to leave the event space and miss anything. And then we would all break out into these rooms, and each room was, one room had wholesalers available to talk to you, to share things with you, to share prices with you, to show you their items. And I know you and I had a conversation on the whole wholesale issue earlier in our first episode. So ask me any questions you might have on that. Another room was how to best, that there was a speaker there, and the whole point of that whole panel was how to improve your pictures. Right. And how, what are some of the best props to use? What are some of the best lighting techniques to use? What are some of the best ways to sell certain things based on sizes? Do you do flat lays? Do you do mannequin displays? Do you model certain items? Do you not model certain items? So that was really cool.
That's neat.
Then another room was Poshmark closet consultations. Another room was thrifting. What do you do? How do you navigate thrifting? Is thrifting something that's viable in your state? So they definitely touched upon that, which I felt that was a topic that was ardent for me. So I definitely attended that. And everything was optional. You didn't have to attend any of these, but you could go into each one of them. And one of the things they did really well, which I really have to credit the Poshmark team, when they gave you, upon entering, when they gave you your tag ID, it had a color. It was color coded. And based on your color code, you were directed to various rooms, so that every member pretty much got a rotation hour by hour and really was exposed to every room. You didn't have to stay, but you did have a particular rotation that happened hour to hour, so that no room is too empty, whereas another room is too full. And I thought that was really, really well thought out and really well planned.
Oh, I really like that a lot. That way, yeah, not everybody is all in the same room and everything's evened out. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice. And, you don't have to worry about not having space, not being able to see in the front. Everything was really well organized, where the speakers and the presenters had sort of like a stage, and we all sat around these really nice conference style tables, round tables, and were able to listen and share ideas. One of the one of the rooms had somebody from Poshmark, who, I don't know how, for new Poshers, I think this is amazing, but some of us who have been doing it for quite some time, it's definitely an incredible tool that's fairly new, which was a closet. Oh my God, what is it called? Oh, I'm running such a blank right now. Closet analysis.
Oh, okay.
And this guy, he's on the financial team of Poshmark. He was really amazing, and it was really funny because he told us, hey, take out your laptops, get ready, let's walk through this amazing Excel spreadsheet that would allow you to walk through do a full comprehensive closet analysis. And once he started talking mathematical formulas, you can just sort of see how he just lost the room.
Oh no.
But it was really good. It was really, really good.
Oh, good. Did you attend that one?
I
Oh,
did, and I thought it was great. It really, a lot of it is more self-explanatory than really needed. I don't think he really needed to go into that much depth. It's definitely where he started losing everyone. But I think the closet analysis is great. It allows you to pick up on trends. It allows you to pick up on different items that sold based on different times of the year. It allows you to break it down, and it's very customizable. So once you open up that spreadsheet, you can really make it your own. And if you have any kind of Excel formula knowledge, you can start building it up to really reflect what some of your issues are and how you're going to perhaps address them and fix them. So you can really build it up, customize it, make it individual. The only thing that it doesn't download is number of shares, which I feel like would definitely be something that maybe they should keep track on.
I see. So you sort of answered my question, but I was going to ask, so is this closet analysis available to all Poshers or only to those who attended PoshFest?
No, so the closet analysis is actually something that is available on the app right now. You can go in and you can download it.
Okay.
And once you download it, it will come as a, full spreadsheet that's not opened yet. And then once you do open it in Excel, then you can pretty much see from the moment you signed up with Poshmark to the moment you made your first sale and all the items that you sold. Clearly, it's not going to tell you how much you bought it for, but it tells you how much it sold for, what Poshmark took as their cut, and what your profit was.
And where can we find this? Is this in the My Seller tools?
Yes, it is. Let me see. Let me try to go into it right now.
Okay.
Okay, so when you go to your profile, you have your guide to Poshmark, Posh etiquette, invite friends, find friends, my closet, my likes,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go into, let's see, not Posh stats, but my seller tools, and then you have my sales report.
Okay.
And when you click on my sales report, it gives you a date range. So you can, and it will come as an email, a secure link to download your report that will come as an email once you click email report. And you can navigate it and customize it, whether you want the last full year, year to date, or custom range. And it will allow you to input certain dates from start date to end date.
Yes, I have seen this before and I've used it, and it's really helpful when you want to break down where your sales are going, what is selling the most, all that good stuff. I love that.
Yes, and I think it's great. I wasn't new to it when I went into the room, I pretty much knew what the gist of the talk was going to be. But I really like the fact that, he went in depth on how to customize it and how to really make it your own and add cells, add certain conditions, and, pretty much, because I know one of the conversations you and I had was, whether to split up based on different categories that you might want to sell, whether it's worth it to have multiple closets or not. Right. So one of the things that he touched upon was you can really customize it to clearly not reflect two closets, because that would mean two individual reports, but you can customize it based on criteria of items that you sell and different categories.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really neat. It takes time. And if you're not really good at, if you don't have like a mathematical background, or if you're new to Excel as a whole, and if you don't really have a specific goal, so I would recommend have a goal. This is what I want this report to do for me. It's gonna have a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get through it, it becomes a very, very, very useful tool.
I like that tool, and I like that we're able to customize it too. So
it's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna experiment more with that. I've never used a custom range before, so that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, I think it allows you to. I know some people talk about slow months and high traffic months. So I think if you customize it, and perhaps, if it feels overwhelming to look at it as a whole year to date or from last year, then maybe breaking it up into month by month, or perhaps seasons to seasons, then it becomes a little more manageable.
Yes, I like that a lot. So we have just about a few more minutes. Did you want to touch on one last thing before we wrap it up?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, I felt like I learned a lot. I got to meet an incredible amount of Poshmark friends, that I call them PFFs. I actually now have this amazing WhatsApp group chat with, two girls from one girl from Florida, one girl from LA, one girl from Connecticut, and another girl who's amazing, Katie. And we talk practically every day. And I have to attribute that to PoshFest. If I didn't attend PoshFest, I wouldn't have been able to meet these ladies, have such an amazing experience with them. We shared everything from what to wear to, we met up before, we shared Ubers. It was just such an amazing experience. And I think really that's what PoshFest was that's what it was meant to do. The panelists were great, the speakers were great, but the whole experience of meeting these PFFs, it's allowed me to create such a community for myself. And when I got back, I really was able to take my business to the next level.
Well, that's awesome, especially that you were able to connect with them, because these are people you probably wouldn't have met otherwise.
Correct. That's right. And, if I have any advice for anyone who's thinking about attending or willing to attend the next one, it would be definitely do it. You're going to learn a tremendous amount of information. You're going to take back things that you never thought were possible, and put yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there. Don't worry about spending hundreds of dollars in the best most fashionable outfit. These people are not about that. It's first and foremost a business trip. It's definitely very posh, but it is a business trip. And just put yourself out there. Go up to the CEO who was there at all times, mingling, talking to everyone. Say hi to everyone. Ask any kind of questions you want, because people will answer them. They really will. I mean, I have to tell you, I have met so many forthcoming people who would share their personal Instagram account with me, totally open. Hey, if you want to do this full time, call me or text me. We'll talk. I'll walk you through it. See if there's anything that you can do to really make this happen for yourself. So I really, really, really recommend it. And I'm super excited for our next venture with Poshmark as a whole, which is to take over Canada.
Yes, I heard. That's exciting.
Oh my goodness. It was revealed in the last day that is just amazing, exciting. I can't wait. I'm definitely weary about, just thinking about what shipping is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Our shipping costs going to go from $5.99 or $6.99 to $20.99, but we'll see.
That's the first thing that came to mind too when I heard that we were expanding to Canada. I was going, so what's shipping gonna look like?
Yeah, and I know, I don't know if I should touch this or not, but it was definitely sort of contagious vibe around the room where when they talked about Canada, but also another topic was taxes. I know a lot of people have been asking themselves, how do I account for Poshmark taxes? And I have to say, they did not have a very good answer to that. I know, Manish, the CEO, said we're working on it. It's going to come up soon.
Yeah, well, at least you know that that's coming up and they're not ignoring that altogether.
Yes, no, they're definitely trying to keep their ducks in a row and be as diligent about it as possible. But I think even from their end, it's very hard.
Oh,
And there's just, yeah, there's so many logistics to cover on that. But again, I highly recommend for everyone to attend. I learned so much. And again, I learned just from talking to everyone. Don't even worry about the panelists. Some of these, I have to say, in all honest truth, some of these panelists weren't really, I don't know. It was weird to have a lot of speakers and panelists whose accounts didn't really show that many sales.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we had quite a few, and of course we're all tech savvy, and so it was beautiful. They would all sit on the stage. They would be introduced by a Poshmark team member, and they would, in the back, they would have this screen with their closet name. And so as they were speaking, of course, you're going to go and check them out and type in their closet name and see what their stats are like. And for the most part, I'll bay for some of the really big veterans that most of us know that have been with the app for a while, and even some of the new Poshmark newcomers are definitely going to learn about them soon enough. The rest of the speakers, their statistics really didn't equate to some of the things that they were saying.
That's interesting.
Yeah, for example, we had a speaker who was talking about how she was really able to take her business to the next level and hire some people to work for her, and also get this warehouse storage unit for her inventory. But then when you look at her sales, or especially love notes given, she only had like 27.
Oh,
how is this possible?
I don't know.
So, if you take that with a grain of salt, there's definitely some really good feedback and advice to be given around the room rather than from the speakers. But if it taught me anything, is that I'm going to apply next year to become a speaker as well, because compared to that, my stats really do speak for themselves. And I feel as though I would really be able to give some quality advice on how to do it part-time and still be successful.
I would love to see you on stage next year. Or
actually, oh my God, I would be so scared. Probably trip and fall over in front of everyone.
And you know what? You can just make like Miss Congeniality, stand right back up and wait like nothing happened.
No, I really, really loved it. I highly recommend it. Go out there, open up your heart, be open. There were so many people who were just, man, I haven't made sales. Look at my closet. What am I doing wrong? Help me out here. And people were just nice and really would sit down with you and say, I really think you should do this. And this is what worked for me. And a lot of it didn't come from the people that were hosting the party and the event as much as it came just from everyone around the room.
Yeah.
So as long as you're willing to put yourself out there, the community is super embracing, super helpful. I can't wait for next year.
I'm excited for next year, and I really hope that you become a speaker. Like, once they put out that announcement, I want to see proof that you submitted an application.
No, I actually, last time I did submit an application, and of course I forgot to submit the video.
Oh man.
So, it's This is what happens when you're a mom and you teach full time. But once I came back, once I came back, I kicked the baby out of the room. Now that room is my full studio. It's awesome. It's been going great.
I am so proud of you. You have shared so much knowledge. And unfortunately, we have to wrap up. Like, we're just about out of time. But can you remind us all again where we can find you on Poshmark?
Of course. My closet name is Shoval24, SHOVAL 24.
Thank you so much. And then I know you said that you met some PFFs over there, and I'd love to share their closet names on the podcast as well. Do you know them offhand? If not, then I can throw them in the show notes.
Yeah, will you throw them in the show notes? I would love for you to check them out.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I mean, I can share with you just a few of them. One of them is What's Where When. She is amazing. Everything she carries is super, super, super curated. Mm-hmm. One of them is Caitlin. She really specializes in high-end items. Her closet name is Shop K Alexandria. If you're looking for beautiful Chanel earrings and everything vintage and high-end, definitely go to her. I also have Katie K Taraska, Taraska. She's also just super amazing, tries her absolute best to provide beautiful items, really good pictures, really good first class delivery. So definitely check them out.
That is so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Of course. Listen, it's all about spreading the posh love. If there is one thing that I learned at PoshFest is spread the posh love, because it's going to come back to you twice-fold.
Oh, I love it. Excellent advice. Okay, girl. It was amazing talking with you again today.
No, thank you for having me. I can't wait.
All right, then. Thank you again for sharing all this knowledge. This is a lot. I'm sure that the listeners are going to have a blast listening to this, because even I learned a lot about PoshFest. They're like, wow, that was awesome.
Oh, no. I hope I didn't ramble too much. But
no, not at all.
I'm totally open to receiving questions. So if anybody has a question, definitely reach out.
Sounds good. Wasn't that amazing? There's definitely something about live events that take your energy, your mindset, and your entire perspective about your own business to another level that you can't experience on your own. I actually just got back from a live event this weekend where I spoke on stage, and it was the most exciting and frightening thing I've ever experienced in my whole life. Anyhow, so if you went to PoshFest in Dallas this year, hit me up on Instagram and tag me with your photos. I would love to hear about what your experience was like, as well as what you learned. And if I receive enough of them, I think it'd be cool to turn that into a separate episode where we can learn from each other. What do you think? I think that would be cool. Anyhow, my Instagram name is Posh with Ashlyn, so DM me or tag me, and I'd love to see what you have to share. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'll see you all next week right here, same time, same place. Hey, many Poshmark sellers have trouble increasing their sales. They're told to share their listings often, and that consumes hours of their day. So I have a 4-part framework that helps sellers build a loyal customer base. And when they do this, sales increase. It's the fastest way to grow your business. If you're ready to start growing your business, then I invite you to join the Smarter Moms online community, where you will build your very first framework so that you can start having your own loyal customer base using my proven formula. Just head over to www.smartermomsonline.com/SMO. We'll see you inside.